somebody sells his flat in the center, even if it's look like this, he can get for the same money a house like this, and because it's so close, he doesn't have to change his job. So he's moving from this flat to this house, and have to drive another 20 minutes in the morning to the work, to the same work, without changing the work. And this drives a lot of Israelis to come and live here. Industry. We have some industrial zones, and it's all mixed with politics because BDS and boycotts and labeling and all this stuff. There are three main industrial zones in this area. This is the smallest, Shahak. Barkan is the biggest. It's close to Ariel, and Ariel belongs to Ariel. A different municipality is near Barkan. Let's talk about Barkan because it's the main industrial zone. 160 factories, 7,000 workers, more than half are Arabs. And Barkan is a very successful industrial zone because Americans used to say you have three things in order to get good business: location, location, and location. And here it's classical because one location is very close to the center. The other one is defined as peripheric area, which means low costs. Everybody would like to be in the center and have low costs. But the third location is the most important. It is the local Arab labor, because in Israel there is a big problem of labor for industry, agriculture, constructing, and there is a lack of workers. And when a factory moves to Barkan, he meets the local Arab population, and they have a huge problem of unemployment. So they have 17% unemployment, and they need jobs. Our factories need workers, and this meeting is classical and very, very beneficial to the both of the sides. And the Arabs who work in our factories has not only jobs, but dream jobs, because they live in the Palestinian Authority economic system, which is poor and corrupted, and their expenses are very low, but their salaries in the Palestinian Authority are a joke. And when they come to work in our industrial zone, they get Israeli salary, which is something on average 3 times more than what they have in the Palestinian Authority. So this is the demand to come and work in our industrial zone is very, very high, and this works very good. There was a terror attack 2 months ago, but still in the last 40 years, this is the only one. So it's very, very beneficial for the both of the sides, and then come the boycotts. One comes from the Palestinian Authority. They legislated a law which prohibits shop owners to have products made in Judea and Samaria in the Jewish industrial zone, and very, very big punishments to who is being caught with our products. This is one. The other one is Europe and the BDS and labeling products and all this. We are making a lot of efforts to bring parliament members, journalists, and bringing them in the factories and to show them the reality. And the honest ones are becoming our supporters because they realize that it's good to everybody. And maybe the fact that Europe didn't decide yet to label the industrial products are because of our efforts. But we have a very interesting example of this factory called Israeli brand called Berger, make these kind of cookies, and they used to work in Barkan, and they left Barkan because they were bought by Unilever, which is an international company. They couldn't afford having a factory beyond the 67 borders. They moved it to the Galilee. And they fired the 200 workers which were working here. 150 Arabs, 50 Israelis were fired. And we using this case to tell everybody, or our guests, what are the results of such a so-called victory of the boycott. Because the 50 Israelis found jobs immediately because the demand in Israel for industry workers is very big. The Arabs are unemployed, and our administrator of the industrial zone has a connection, and they know them by name. They are unemployed until today. And we tell to the Europeans, look, Barkan is producing certain amount, most of it goes to the local market, so you cannot boycott it. Only part goes to export, only part of the export goes to Europe, only part of the export for Europe goes to the problematic countries. So in the best case, you can block only one slice of the production in Barkan. But here is a success. Let's see what are the results. The Israelis found jobs, the Arabs unemployed. But the factory, if somebody in Europe thinks that in the cost of 150 unemployed Arabs, they could erase and wipe out one factory in Barkan, it's another mistake because we have a waiting list. And a day after they left Barkan, a new factory entered, so the only bottom line of this so-called success of the boycott is 150 unemployed Arabs. So if you want to continue, go on. This is interesting. We found an article in a Palestinian Authority news agency, and they claim zero unemployment near Jewish communities. Surprise, surprise, instead of 17%, zero. What happened? Because every Arab who works in our factory considered as a rich man compared to his neighbors. And he is buying and building and hiring other people. And that's why, that would give this result. And they said it. A Jewish site in the United States saw it and translated it into English, and then it was translated to Hebrew, and began to spread over the net. And after a while, when we entered the original link, it was disappeared because it wasn't good to the propaganda. But we managed to copy it. Palestinian Authority economy based on one-third donation, one-third work with Israeli employers here or in Israel pre-67, and only one-third is local economy. And the World Bank made a research in 2010 if they are able to have their own independence economy. In case of Palestinian state, the result was no way. But this is interesting. Why these Arabs here are so lucky to have such a big amount of donation? Because they have a beautiful export branch called anti-Semitism. Everybody who hates the Jews, hates Israel, gives them money because they know they are standing against us. So that's why they are so lucky to have so much donation. Okay, some general details about Judea and Samaria. Only 7% of the area populated. Jews and Arabs together. That means that there is a lot of space for everybody. Most of the roads are close to the Jews, So if somebody wants to talk about apartheid, let's go, because it's against us, but it's not apartheid, it's security. Most of the roads close the Jews to protect the Jews from the Arab terror, and maybe 1% close to Arabs, again to protect the Jews from the Arab terror. And so the Jews are suffering from the terror and for the restrictions because of the terror. And then they are being blamed for apartheid. And there are no checkpoints today in the area, only on the general border. Because when there were checkpoints, it was because of terror. After the situation relaxed, it was all open. This is the political situation after Oslo Accords and the building of the Palestinian Authority, which is actually an autonomy of the local Arab population. This is the current situation, because the meaning was to create Palestinian state, but it blew up in the year of 2000, so it was stopped in a situation which is everybody can live with it. A and B were given to the Palestinian Authority as an autonomy. Together it's 40%. The difference between them is that the B area is Israeli security responsibility. C is Israeli total responsibility, 60% of the area. The importance of this situation is, if you can see that it's spots, it's not continuity, because it was done according to the population and not according to the area. Because the meaning was to include as many as possible Arabs in A and B, and actually it includes 97% of the local Arab population, which they have their own regime, their own government, which managing their daily life. And that means that these Arabs are not occupied, because occupation means that the occupier managing the life of the occupants. Today, it's not the situation. They have their own systems, and they are depending us only in some general aspects, like crossing the border outside, and some very general thing, not the daily life. And this is important to know. Demography. This is a topic from 1987, Israeli professor who was scared that because of the birth rate and the situation, the Arabs are going to be a majority within 13 years. It was changed right after this. As we said, in Judea and Samaria, there are today these numbers in Jerusalem. How many Arabs are? This is a big question, a big debate, a lot of politics, because the Palestinian Authority claims for 2.9 million, but everybody knows it's a lie, because they have a big interest to inflate the numbers. One, they get budgets according to the numbers they give, so inflating the numbers are meaning money. Two, they want to influence the debate within the Israeli society about the demography, so they make the numbers big. But there is Israeli team managed by Yoram Ettinger. He was the deputy ambassador in Washington, which claims for 1.8 million, a million less. So this is the big debate. Nobody knows the real numbers. But for sure, this is a big lie. But there is no debate over the trends. Because of education, modernity, the Arabs declined from 9 children per woman in 1967, when we met them, when we came, to something between 2.7 to 3 children and a woman, and still decreasing all the time. Another point, when we came, there was no one single university in Judea and Samaria and Eastern Jerusalem. Today, with the cruel Israeli occupation, yes, they have something about 15 universities and 35 colleges. Each year, almost 40,000 graduated young people are leaving these institutes, and they don't have what to do with their new skills in this small and poor area. And today, in their smartphones, they have the whole world. They can see how they can live with their education in different places, so they are living in a big numbers each year. The alternative Palestinian state means that the area will be flooded by Palestinians, refugees from Syria, sitting in tents today in Jordan because of the war in Syria. And Abu Mazen, the leader of the Palestinian Authority, keep demanding to let them in. Of course, Israel is not crazy to do it, but if he would have control over the Jordan Valley, this will happen and this will destroy the demographic situation. Let's continue. Terror. We used to come in our tours to a lookout, which we are going to see some pictures. And near this lookout, there is a preparation for the army. And this guy, Rabbi Elimelech Shapira, was murdered in 2002. He was the guy who built this institute, so that's why his picture is bigger. But here are some of the pictures of the people who were murdered in terror here. Mainly between the years 2000 and 2003. In this period, we couldn't take the car and drive just like that. It was a risk. It was taking a chance. And we used to call back home after crossing the dangerous part, I'm okay. And some couples used to separate and not to go in the same car just in case. But the strange thing and the crazy thing is that in the end of these 3 or 4 years, terrible years, the Jewish population grew up in something about 30% during this wartime. Today, in the communities surrounding Gaza, you cannot find a flat because, again, it's unbelievable, but the demand to come and live there is very big. Last issue is security, but we emphasize security is only a byproduct. It's not, we didn't come to live here because security. We came to live here because it's our land and we just came home, back again. But security is important enough to have some words. So first, proportions. When you look at the Middle East, it's a big Muslim Arab continent. In the middle there is a small spot that its name is written in the sea, Israel. And this is the Israel, and which its width is 70 kilometers. And if we put it on the United States, we must make a circle to point where, because it's too tiny. These are the borders until 67. These are Judea and Samaria. It's mountains, and Israel was actually a narrow strip along the Mediterranean, controlled from above by Jordan. There was no, ever was here a Palestinian state. It's a new invention. Jordan occupied it and annexed it illegally. Nobody except Pakistan and Britain recognized this illegal annexation. And this was the situation until 67. And another aspect, if you cut the land and look at the land from south to the north, so here in the west, this is the Mediterranean, this is the coastal plain, this is 67 border, these are Judea and Samaria, Jordan Valley, Jordan River, and this is Jordan, okay? if you look at this mountain ridge, it's not symmetric. The eastern side is a wall, because the Jordan Valley is a part of the Syrian-African Reef, and this is a big crack in the surface, and only 7 ways crosses it from east to west, and it's very easy to defend if we sit here from an invasion comes from the east, because please don't forget that from our border in the Jordan River until India, it's a huge Islamic area with hundreds of millions. And if they attacking us, this is our insurance to protect the land. And if, just imagine, they sit here, and these slopes are very moderate, has dozens of ways leading to the west, and it's a dream platform to invade what remains from Israel. So this is the difference. And this is Admiral Bud Nance, American. He once said that the eastern mountain ridge is one of the world's best tank barriers. On the other hand, the western is a dream platform of invasion to Israel's narrow coastal plain. That's the difference. And this difference is 50 kilometers, but critical 50 kilometers. We gave Gaza and got instead very nice colored map. Each strip is another 15 seconds to run to the shelters because of the rocket threat which was developed in Gaza. So we've got Gaza vicinity, which is the area threatened by rockets from Gaza. We got Lebanon vicinities, the northern part of Israel, which is threatened by rockets from Lebanon, Hezbollah. In case of Palestinian state, the rest of Israel might be Judea and Samaria vicinity, and then the map could be seen like that. That makes the center like Gaza border. And giving today this area, Judea and Samaria, is a place, is a kind of a shelter for the people from Israel in case of a war to come and live here until the war is over, because it's not because it's safe. Giving Judea and Samaria may create another reason to escape, but now without a place to escape to. In case of Palestinian state here in Judea and Samaria, the first victim will be Jordan, because something about 70% of the population in Jordan defined as Palestinians, and if they have here independence, it will be spread to the other side, and the Jordanian regime is very, very weak. And I used to say to the Europeans who come here, you know, in case of toppling Jordan, you probably know already where the refugees from Jordan going to flow to Europe. You will have another wave. So think again about this option. Some pictures from the place we didn't visit today, Ptuel, Alei in the western side of Samaria. This is the last village before 67 borders, and this is all the Israeli center. This is Tel Aviv from the same point. This is the village of Dir Balut, our village. Just behind it is the 67 borders. And this I took, again, this village. Here is a plane coming to land in Ben Gurion Airport. This is Tel Aviv area. And these are the distances between that village to the center. It's 11 kilometers to Petah Tikva, the beginning of this huge block of the Israeli center, 20 kilometers to Tel Aviv, 13 kilometers to the airport. And again, proportions. This is the 67 border. This is the point which these pictures were taken from. And this is Tel Aviv. And now let's put Paris in the same proportion. It's half of Paris, this width of Israel pre-67, and London, it's the same, and the length of Manhattan is the width of Israel. Just to give the idea. Again, some pictures. This is Ben Gurion Airport. Here is a place is taking off. This is the Mediterranean. I took these pictures from Samaria. Again, and here are ships in the sea, and this is the airport. And this was taken from near Nablus, near Shechem, in a community, Har Bracha. We are going to visit there. Ships in the sea, and this is the main Israeli power station located on the beach in Hadera, and this is Netanya, a big city. In 67, Hussein, the king of Jordan, joined Egypt and Syria, attacked Israel, and lost Judea and Samaria. After 6 years, in 73, another war. Now he didn't join the war. And after the war, he was blamed by the Arabs. Why didn't you join? The Jews were in a very critical situation. Maybe together we could have won them. His answer was very interesting. He said, Jordan had no strategic depth. What did he mean? This is Amman, his capital. There are twin buildings there. And this is Amman, the city and the buildings. I took this picture from Itamar in Samaria. Here it is. This place called the Three Seas Lookout. We are going to visit there later, but I'm just preparing my alibi because Three Seas, the Mediterranean, Dead Sea, and the Sea of Galilee, in some days in the year can be seen, but not every day. So I took some pictures to try to prove it. So this is Amman. This is the Hermon mountain, the white here. Hermon mountain is up in the north, in the northern point of Israel. And this is the Mediterranean. This is Herzliya, located on the shore. This is Nablus, this is the big mall. This is Gerizim mountain, Mount of Blessing. This is Ebal mountain, Mount of Curse. We will talk about it later. This is the Dead Sea from that point, again. And this is the northern part of Samaria. It's 8 kilometers to a big city in the valley of Jezreel, Afula, 17 kilometers to Nazareth, and 12 kilometers to an air base in the same area. To the Sea of Galilee, 28 kilometers, again Bet Shean, another city, 7 kilometers. It's all very, very close and very dangerous. To the Hadera, a big city, 12. This is Highway 6, the main Israeli highway. It goes north-south. At this point, a very daily, normal picture. But if you look at the map, we are touching Tulkarem, a big city, Arab, Palestinian. In case of Palestinian state, this is Palestine. And this is a potential, another Gaza, located right on the main Israeli highway. And we look at the side, we can see only a wall, but from the air, this is the highway, this is Tulkarem, this is the interchange. They put their big flag, but that's what they can do. They can do anything else because we as military presence, if it's needed, in the other side. Not like Gaza. The distance from this interchange to Netanya, a big city, 12 kilometers, 15 kilometers to the sea. And the same case near another Arab town, Kalkilia. Again, the map, and again, this is the highway touching another potential Gaza. The distances from Kalkilia are the best. It's the narrowest point of the pre-67 borders, 14 kilometers. We tell to America 9 miles. They don't believe us, but later they are being shocked. And these are the ridiculous distances to all the Israeli center. You see the kilometers. This is another area, Western Judea. It's 7 kilometers to Bet Shemesh, another 25 to military air bases and towns. It's very, very close. In the south, 12 kilometers to Arad and Beersheba, big cities, and Nevatim Air Base, 16 kilometers, Hatzerim, 26, Dimona Nuclear Reactor, 36, and Dimona City, 32. It's all closed. Jerusalem, until 67, surrounded from 3 directions. All of them are above the city. And this was taken from Psagot, a community northern to Jerusalem. This is Jerusalem. This is the center of Ramallah. Look at the poor occupation, okay, yes. They are very poor. Today they have palaces. We call it the celebration of the occupation. And you will have the chance to see those villas and palaces in our way. But this is the center of Ramallah. Center of Ramallah is above Jerusalem, but Psagot, our community, is above the center of Ramallah, so everything is peaceful. Last thing is tunnels. We gave Gaza Strip, and we had a lot of troubles along the border between Sinai, Egypt, and Gaza when we controlled Gaza. 14 kilometers of tunnel problems, we got rid of it, but we got instead 65 kilometers of troubles. So this was not such a big trade. And giving Judea and Samaria means another 400 kilometers of potential potential tunnels. And back to Kalkilia, this part of the way was opened in June 2003. A week after it was opened, terrorists entered under the road in a tunnel, water tunnel, which Israel forgot to block, and opened fire and murdered 7-year-old girl. She was with her parents in a car. And it's not a problem to dig here, it's a sand, it's in the plain already. And after this attack, the slogan of Highway 6 was changed. Instead of the safest road, it became the fastest road. But here is the difference between Gaza and Judea and Samaria. We gave Gaza, and we got a terror monster there, which out of control. We didn't give Judea and Samaria. We have a military control. We have civilian presence in the Jewish communities, and the IDF could recover its intelligence infrastructure and to enter if it's needed. So if somebody tried to dig or prepare some rockets, it's very simple. 2 jeeps are coming, knocking on his door, arresting him, and that's it. In Gaza, it means to drop a 1-ton bomb on his head, sometimes his family being hurt, and then we come to the United Nations as an international incident. So that's the difference between the place we gave and the place we have the control. But as I said, this is only the byproduct, because this is the main product. Here is the Bible land. We are here in Shiloh. We have here Bethel, Jerusalem, Bethlehem, Hebron, and a lot of Jewish sites, Dotan Valley. And here are some pictures, Jerusalem, Hebron, the town of the patriarchs, and Bethel, Shiloh is here, Dotan Valley in the north, Rachel tomb, and Joseph tomb. You will see it later, and you will see it's in the middle of the city. But this picture was taken 100 years ago, and this was only building in an empty field. And this is one of the most amazing findings, Joshua Alder, which was found, many people will talk about it later, was found almost complete, covered by stones 30 years ago by Israeli professor. Unbelievable. And nobody can contradict this finding and trying to doubt it. That's it.